Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different, and that is that I'm going to be doing a rewind mock spread in this vertical Recollections Planner. I haven't posted the haul and review video for this yet, but I will probably within the next week or two. And yeah, I got it on sale, so it's usually $30, but I got it for $10, and so that's definitely something to consider if you want to try a planner. Like, I've never had a vertical planner, and the Recollections Planner is sold at Michael's, which often has a lot of sales. So yeah, and I really like you'll see in the review video that I quite like it. Yeah, and so I got it just to play around with. Like I said, I don't plan vertically or even weekly. I do a lot of daily planning, but I thought this would be fun to play with, and so I'm going to plan for the week of August 6th through the 12th, which is a week that I was away on vacation. I was visiting my family, and so I thought that might be a fun week to like lay out, because I was doing things that I don't do usually. And yeah, and so I don't have a kit for this. Kits can be expensive, and the ones I buy I want to use for my own personal planner. And I'm also starting to, as I get further along in the year, and you'll see it when it happens, I have a few like ultimate kits that I want to start planning with over 2 weeks. And so all of that means that I don't have like extra kits that I'm willing to use like just to play around with, which presents itself a fun creative challenge because I will be planning without a kit. And so I pulled a lot of like extra stickers that I have, some basic functional sheets, and a ton of washi to see if I can put together something that makes sense. So this is basically what I have. I have like a sampler from my shop. I have some random headers from a Terran's sticker shop order. I have some date covers from one of my kits. I have these 2 sticker sheets that came in the Erin Condren Summer Surprise box. This is a page of functionals, and this is a page of deco. These are kind of the 2 sheets that I based other things on. I'm going to try to pull stuff around these sheets because I really like them, and they're really bright and summery, but I also don't know that I would use them in another setup. So I think this would be fun to like be the center point. I have like basic functionals from my shop. So I have some bright quarter boxes, some bright half boxes, some bright heart checklists. These are actually miscuts. So my silhouette didn't cut all the way through the top layer, so I have to cut them out. So that's why I'm using them. Then I have some other things that I thought I might be able to pull 1 or 2 stickers from. I have all my kit leftovers that I'm about to show are from Terran's sticker shop or my shop. I'll just say which one's which. So these are from Terran's sticker shop, and I have just these lists. I feel like maybe this teal color might be bright enough to work. These header things, these icons, again looking at the teal colors. Again, here I wanted the icons, but I don't know if these colors will work at all. These glitter YouTube icons from my shop. This sheet, which is a first order freebie. So this is a sampler I just designed to swap with another shop, and it has some new stickers on here. I'll show them more in detail when I get to that. And this is the first order freebie sheet, so it's a little bigger, and you get a few different things to just introduce you to the shop. And then this sheet is some more half boxes. Again, looking at the teals, maybe something like that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So that, and then I pulled out this washi that's like, these are from I think the same tube of Recollections washi from Michael's. And again, if this is like the color palette I'm working with, I feel like they aren't quite as bright, but I think they will work. They're just as summery because they're all fruity. And then because the deco sheet has so much hollow foil, and even the functional sheet has a lot of holographic things, I'm going to try to stay with holographic foil. I'm not going to mix the metals if I can. So I have these little 5mm bow washies from Simply Gilded that are with holographic foil, but I may pull in some of this. I have not decided. These are gold and I really like this, but I didn't have enough gold other things to warrant changing it from holographic to gold. I don't know if I can mix hollow and gold. I know people like mix metals, but I don't know the science behind it. Like, what metals go together well? I don't know. So I don't want to touch that. I have this Ruler to cut washi, and then I have my Pilot G2 pen, and then the way I decided to outline is that I looked at my memory keeping like journal, and I jotted down some things on different sticky notes, and so that's what I will be trying to put into the spread. And then because the Recollections Planner is mostly Erin Condren sized, but what they did is that Erin Condren has like solid lines and spaces between her boxes. What Recollections does is that they just have this dotted line in the middle, and that means that the widths are like ambiguous. And since I will be creating full boxes from this washi, I just outlined the straight line in pencil so that I know where things are. And I actually should have done that over here. I'll have to do it when I get over there. So that's what, oops, knocked the camera. That's what I have to work with. And so I'm just going to see what happens. And one of the first things I'm going to do is put down the bottom washi, because I think that will be the easiest place to start. And to do that, I'm going to use this watermelon layered with this yellow hollow foil. So we're going to do that, and I will be using whiteout, I think, if I can find the one that works. So this one, I just finished one, and I'm so glad because I want to get a new whiteout. I just can't justify it when I still have this, but I hate this whiteout. So I will white out the lines and lay down the washi and then be back. So I'll speed through that part. Okay, so I managed to get the bottom washi down, and overall I like how it looks. I like how like the bow is layered with the watermelons. As you can, if you noticed, I whited out over here and didn't do whiteout over here, and that's just because the whiteout made the edges over here not look very clean, and I thought that I might be able to do a cleaner job if I just didn't use the whiteout, and I think it's fine. I struggled to get the 5mm washi down straight. That took me a while. But it's down, and so now I'm going to attempt the full boxes, and I've been just unsure about how to go about that, but we're going to wing it. And so what I'm going to do is just like lay down like that, and then cut it like this, hopefully. And I don't cut at an angle, so this is going to be strange. I don't know if it will work. It doesn't seem like it wants to. There we go. Okay, so I got that cut, and then not the straightest. I may have to switch things up later. I've never done this before. I don't really know what will and won't work. Okay, so I will pull out my X-Acto knife to get this part. I may need to do that for everything because this didn't come out clean and I don't like it. So I'm just going to, for this one, I'm just going to layer it on, and the patterns like the patterns don't align, but I think that's okay. I'm not bothered by that. It's just kind of like a random design. And so I'm going to do this box like while rambling on with you all, and then we'll try to speed through the other boxes because I foresee this taking a long time. And yeah, okay, so there's that, and then we will put down another strip. And I definitely thought of this independently, but I have also seen I think it's Holly Plans. Viv loves to plan. Oh no, I've seen it before. Basically, people have done it where they make a full box with strips of this tape. And there's just a teeny tiny corner that didn't get covered. Okay, so I winged it on that last part and probably shouldn't have because it's a teeny bit crooked. Okay, so there's one full box and I like it. I like how this came out. I think it looks nice. So I'm wondering if I want to do headers because I have this blue thing and I don't want to have it. We could also use this tape as a header, maybe. I'm going to try it and we'll see what happens. It's just too big, you know? Okay. You can also bring in this tape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to center this over the blue bar that's there because it's not quite big enough, but it's also they're both blues, so I feel like it's not noticeable, you know? So I'm going to do that. And so that means that I'm going to put down all of the headers and also figure out how to design the rest of the full boxes, and then I will be back. that took almost half an hour. So this isn't a quick way to do things. But this is what I had. I actually kind of like it. I was a little skeptical, but then I started pulling in this deco from the sticker sheet, and I think that it looks pretty good. Over here, I didn't do like the full box, quote box. I just did a little bit. But I will actually extend it a little bit more because I don't like quite how short it is, and I also wanted a blank yellow background, so I just used a half box for that, and I think it came out okay. And yeah, one second, I want to cut this, and yeah, I feel like it's coming together. I don't know if I'm going to keep the yellow bows. I may switch those to blue bows. I'm still undecided, and I don't think I will be able to pull that up. So to kind of even it out, I'm going to add this arrow at the bottom, just because it like brings us into the week. Okay, so that's that. I have the full boxes down and the like bow headers, and so now we are ready to actually plan things, I guess. So, well, not plan, but like back plan. And I'm not going to do the sidebar yet. I'm going to start with Monday. So Monday I actually flew into Texas on Sunday, but then drove down to southern Texas to visit some of my family on my mom's side. So I was there by Monday, and I want to mark that we definitely slept in a lot because of just how we stayed up really late the night before. I don't know why. I was not especially happy about that. But my bed, I slept on an air mattress in the living room, which is also the place where people like collected and met up and like talked to each other. And so that meant that I couldn't sleep until they all decided to go to sleep. And so I don't really know what these stickers are here. They may be suns. They look like eyelashes to me, so I'm going to use them to mark sleeping in. Like, I'm going to say they're closed eyelashes. And I'm going to put them at the bottom of this quarter box and write in sleep in. I was inspired to even write this down because I had another sticker somewhere from a kit left over that said sleep in, but I actually like those little eyelash things. So I'm going to keep that. Then I actually had to, I won't get into all the details, but I did have to go to the clinic because I developed a weird rash. So I had to get that checked out, and we'll write that in somewhere. I actually will put that down here. Yes, so I'm going to use one of these little dewdrop things to mark that. I actually am going to pull in some colors, like colored pen things. I pulled out some Stud Letter Tri Plus fine liners that I think will match this spread in order to write stuff in color, because I feel like that black, since I don't have, I'll be using a lot of these like small things because I don't have like tons of icons and I want to bring in more color. So I'll just write that in. And then here's my sheet of things to do. So we went shopping. That was like the big thing that we did Monday, because they like shopping. I like shopping, but not nearly as much as the rest of my family does. Especially my mom and her sisters. But it was a good time. Anyway, so I'm going to use a half box for that. This bright red one, if I can get it off of the paper. I finally think I figured out the cut settings that will keep this nonsense from happening over and over and over again. I think that the stickers will come off the page much better now, because I was doing some more experiments, and I think I got it, sort of. Am I going to need to put anything under it? Where is my sticky note? So I want to mark shopping and what I bought. Up here I'm going to mark a phone call, and then like I want to have a tiny bit of space for just to mark that I made a sticker order this day. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to layer it with this pink flag. Do I want to make it a pink flag? I don't want to make it a pink flag. I want to make it this orange flag. And then I will write that in. I feel like I want to have something thicker than my pen, so I'm going to bring in this black fine liner to write in shopping. Okay. One of the things I've noticed about my lettering is that when I have enough room, I think it looks nice, but I have a hard time leaving myself enough room, and I don't know why I do that. But I wanted to mark, because we had a purpose. I needed new shoes, and I don't know how I want to mark that. I guess I'll just add it to the box down here. Because I wear shoes until like they're falling apart, and these shoes in particular had like the soles were separating from like the body of the shoe, and they were letting in tons of water every time it rained, and my feet would get all wet. So I got talked into buying new shoes. And then I want to mark that I made a sticker order. So I am going to, what am I going to do for that? I think that I will turn this into a tiny flag. And so that means I need scissors, which I did not take out. There we go. And I think the shop I ordered from was called Cinderella Paper on Etsy. Not 100% certain. Something I'm noticing that's really weird is that for some reason these stickers are having some trouble sticking to the washi tape. Cannot explain that. Don't know what's up with that. But yeah. Okay, so up here I did have a phone call. I called my boyfriend in the morning. I usually call him in the evenings before going to sleep, but we were up so late the night before that I called him like for half a second to say okay, good night, and then just went to sleep, but we didn't get to like talk. So I want to mark that somehow. But I feel like that's too much of the foil too close to each other. So I'm trying to figure out what else I want to mark that way. And also what I want to put it in. I think I'm going to use another quarter box. And so I actually think that I'm going to use some of the, okay, so I got it. I'm going to use a quarter box. I'm going to use this red one. This green one, actually. And I'm going to lift this up a bit. That quarter box is a little crooked, but I will live with it. And then I'm going to put in some more of the yellow bows in between, just to separate things a bit. Where did I put my ruler? Okay. And I'm going to see, I want to use an icon, but I don't know that I like the colors. Okay, I'm going to use this purple one right here, and I want to add nothing. I'm not going to add anything. Okay. So, and this fine liner isn't even much thicker than my pen, so I'm just going to keep using my pen, and I'm going to just write, I think I'll just write his name, but I will use the fine liner just because the ends aren't as sharp when I use it. So there is that. That's Monday. Whew. So one of the things is that I'm doing two things at once. I'm planning vertically for the first time while also not using a kit. So is that a genius idea? Maybe not, because I'm doing two new things at once, but it'll be fine. So I'm finished with Monday and we'll move on to Tuesday. So I'm going to get out my Tuesday sticky notes. And let's see, we went shopping again. One of the things that happens when I go visit this family is that we go shopping a lot, because like I said, they all love shopping, and you know, it's fun. So I'm going to use another half box for that, because those shopping trips actually take up a good chunk of our day, because we spend a lot of time looking around. And yeah, okay. And I'll use another flag if I can find my sticker sheet. Okay, I will use the pink one this time. So yeah, but this time we didn't have any goals. Like, I didn't need anything. No one needed any kind of clothing. My aunt just really wanted to buy something for my sister and me, because she doesn't see us very often. So yeah, it was just like she wanted to buy us like a present, but also for us to pick like an outfit. And so I will still mark, like, I got a couple of dresses that were on sale, and they were really pretty and I liked them. And then I also found some fun paper clips at A Forever 21, and I was excited about that. No one else understood why I found that especially exciting and why I wanted paper clips, but paper clips are fun. Okay, so the next thing I did was I wanted to mark that I did pre-order an advent calendar from the GP Studio. And so to mark that, I am going to use this shopping cart. And I will make another flag, maybe. I'm going to see how it looks if I try to make another flag. Oops. So the other side isn't really straight. So this is like a thick flag. Oh, I don't think I like it. But I'm going to lay it down just to look at it. It's okay, I'll keep it. And so that's a pre-order, that's to mark that I pre-ordered the GP Studios Advent calendar. And I thought it was pretty reasonably priced. I mean, it's like 12 days of little packages of things, and I think it was 50 Australian dollars, so it was like 35 American dollars, something like that. And so I went ahead and I got it, and they shipped mid-November, and they actually extended, I think, the pre-sales until this Saturday, so this will come out tomorrow on the 17th, and then the day after this comes out, I think is the last day to pre-order that. So I did that. Then in this box, I'm just going to mark my frustration with the world because my family stayed up until 2 a.m. watching movies, and I was tired, and that seems like an innocent enough thing to do until you remember that my bed was in the living room. So they had the movie on, they were blaring it just so loudly until 2 a.m. They saw sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. They saw the Justice League movie and Black Panther. The Justice League movie wasn't a movie I was interested in seeing, and I've already seen Black Panther, and I was so tired. And so I eventually, towards the end of Black Panther, just kind of set up my air mattress and went to sleep right under the television. And I was hoping that they would like take it as a hint to maybe finish the movie the next day or to lower the volume, but they didn't. So that was unfortunate. I was really tired. So I'm gonna write what a date, just kind of sarcastically. I'm going to add that. And I wanted to put this banner, but it's kind of long, so I'm going to try to cut it on my own, make it shorter, while keeping the banner shape. So we'll see how well I can do that. not very. Okay, well, I'm going to do what I usually do and bend it in half. There, that's better. Okay, so just to mark that it felt like forever, and so this is like a long chunk of time that was going on. And I will use this hot pink color to write that they saw movies until, oh, I'm not gonna have space. Okay. And then they saw Justice League, and Black Panther. I was really surprised that everyone was willing to stay up so late. So late. Even my mom and dad were like up really late, and I thought they went to sleep earlier than that, but I guess they don't. I guess they're party animals, and I had no idea. But that marks the end of Tuesday. Going on to Wednesday, we had to drive back to Dallas. So I will use one of these long flags to mark that, and this little car, and this little circle. And I'm going to do just a weird kind of layered thing. Maybe that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, it's going to cover the foil on the flag, but that's okay. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to put this car in the middle. And then on the side, I'm just going to write drive to Dallas, which is where I flew into. We just drove south. So there is that, and then that took up a good chunk of the day. Other things I want to mark is that this day my boyfriend actually went to his house, and so I just want to mark that like I left and then he left, and so nobody was at our apartment during that time. So I'm going to use, this yellow dot or teardrop thing. And we'll write in green that he went home on this day. And to visit his family. And then the last thing I want to put here is that I did shop the Go Wild sale, and I shopped for Simply Gilded. So that was a crazy time because I was waiting. It started at 11 p.m. Central Time, and it was a wild time. As I was checking out, things were like leaving my cart. Like things were selling out that were in my cart as I was trying to check out. So I would get kicked back to the start of checkout twice, which like slowed me down, and that other things got sold out while I was trying to check out. However, I was able to actually get most of the things that I wanted, so that was fun. And it was also just like the excitement of waiting for it to start and like refreshing the page. It was the first time I purchased a page in any kind of Simply Gilded release except for the subscription box. So I want to mark that somehow. And it was like the big event of the day. I was basically just sitting in the car waiting for this to happen because I had nothing else to do. And so I'm going to use another half box And I'm going to use a big blue one, I think. Maybe this isn't the right kind of blue. I'm going to try a green one. If I can get it off of the page. And so, as you can see, not having a kit is really slowing me down because things don't match unless I make them match. And so that just means that okay. So that just means that I have to like pull things together, and so it will take a bit more time to do that. And I'm going to decorate with this giant lollipop popsicle thing because I think that it's fun. And so I'm actually going to write inside the lollipop, Go Wild collab sale, or actually I'm going to write the Go Wild collab sale in the green, and here I'm going to write Simply Gilded because that's where I shopped. Oh, and Once More with Love. I went there too. So I will scribble that in. And so that was actually my first Simply Gilded purchase that wasn't the subscription box. And it was my first Once More with Love purchase ever. And I was really motivated because they had the limited edition enamel pin that had the two munchkins sitting together and looking up at the stars, and I thought it was so cute, and so I really wanted to get that, and I was able to. So I'm just going to write the Go Wild. This coil is messing up my already not great handwriting, so I apologize for that. So that was Wednesday. Fairly uneventful. But I'm liking how this is coming out. I think it's looking almost cohesive. Okay. So then Thursday, I was back in Dallas and I did a couple of things. One of the first things I want to mark is that we went to my favorite enchilada restaurant. I mean, it's a Mexican restaurant, but I go there for their enchiladas because I love them. Enchiladas are probably my favorite food, and it's great. I really like their enchiladas. So I'm going to use this Happy Day sticker just because it was a good time because I got to go to that restaurant. And then I'm going to use another half box. If you can't tell, I'm using half boxes to take up space. Really is what I'm doing. Oh, no, I'm not going to use another half box. I'm going to use some more of the washi. I'm going to use this one, even though it's right here. It's fine. So I'm going to use the washi, and then I'm going to layer on top of it something. I don't actually know what yet. This isn't straight. Okay. That's straight enough. The Happy Day sticker isn't straight. That's throwing me off. Okay. So I want to have a good chunk of this box be this washi. And this is taking me forever. Oh, I went off on a tangent when I said that, and never got to the point, when I said that the lack of a kit was slowing me down. So it's a lack of a kit plus just never having used this style before that is going to make this video kind of long. And I'm going to use this little teal food icon with a quarter box. I can find my quarter boxes. And I'm going to use so what color do I want? I'm going to use a yellow one. And I'm going to put it slightly off center so that I can put this symbol right above it. And I'm just going to write the name of the restaurant, which is called El Taquito. And it was a good time. The next thing I did was, again, we went shopping a bit more, and that was because there's a Michael's in Dallas and there's not a Michael's anywhere near where I go to school. So I wanted to get a mini happy planner because they were on sale for 40% off. And so we went to Michael's, and then we also went to an antique store called the Dusty Attic, which is a place that my parents like to visit. And I was able to buy a cute purse that my mom had a similar purse, and I got the same style or the same kind of purse in a different pattern because I really liked it, and I don't use purses very often. And so to mark that, I think I'm going to do something as opposed to nothing, so that's good. I'm going to use this flag to mark the Michael's trip. And then I'm going to use this flag to mark the other trip. And I do a lot of shopping when I go home because my parents have a car and they can drive me around. Whereas when I'm not home, I don't have a car. And so I can't get places, and there are some stores that aren't anywhere close to where I live. And so I do a lot of shopping because there are things that I've been wanting to go find and have the ability to ask my parents to drive me around. So here is the that's misspelled, and the big ticket item was the mini happy planner. And then the other thing was, it's called the Dusty Attic. It's near the antique store. And I got a new purse. I don't use purses often because I usually have a backpack to go to class, and then have nothing to carry because I keep all my cards attached to my cell phone, and then most things are in my backpack. And if I'm not going to class, I'm going grocery shopping and don't need anything but my wallet, which is attached to my cell phone. But I got it just in case because I liked it, and I also feel like it was a purse, but it's also kind of like a small backpack. And my classes this semester, I think, are going to require far fewer books and heavy notebook things than they have in the past. So I hope to be able to take that to class instead, and it's a lot smaller than my backpack. So Friday, there were a couple of things. So I met my friend Emma. We've been friends since the 6th grade, and so we've been friends for, I don't know, you're 12 in the 6th grade and I'm 21 right now, so 9 years. Yeah, we've known each other for 9 years. We've been good friends for a good chunk of that time. And so I see her Every time I go back home, we meet up once and spend like hours at the mall talking and catching up. I see her like twice a year. And so I was at the mall talking with her for like 5 hours until I was completely exhausted. I was so tired of talking. It was crazy. I was very tired. And so I'm going to like use one of these last boxes to like mark that whole chunk of a day was being at the mall with her. And I think I'm going to use the top box. Yeah, I'm going to use the top box. And I may use another one of these little things or some of this deco. Or both, just to spice things up. But I've used so much of this color and I almost want to use so much fun, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to use this It's a Good Day sticker because it was a good day. And I'm going to, I want to use this tumbler sticker thing because we ate food. So I'm going to fit both of those in there somehow. I don't like how all of these stickers are at the top of the boxes, but there's not really another good place to put them. And I got a smoothie while I was there, and it was disgusting. Or it wasn't disgusting, but it was overpriced. It was like $10, and it tasted gross. It was from a place that like made itself look really fresh and healthy, but then tasted really sugary, and like it was a strawberry banana kind of smoothie, and it tasted like the strawberry flavoring came from a syrup bottle. It was really gross, and I was disappointed. So I'm going to write mall with Emma right there. And then down here, 2 things I want to mark back is that my sister flew back to her college. She was home all summer, and she flew back, so I just want to mark that. I'm nearing the end of the week, but I don't want to use any more flags. I think I'll end up using a quarter box. And I brought that blue in, so I'm just going to use this blue quarter box. No, I'm going to use this purple quarter box. And to take up a bit more space, I'm going to once again, oh no! I'm not going to do what I just started to say I was going to do. Never mind. I wanted to do another like middle like layering like this, but I don't want them so close to each other. Yes, I do. I'm going to do it. Okay. Okay. And so that's just that my sister flew back to school. And then the last thing that happened that day, I'm actually glad that I'm doing the rewind so I can talk about it, because I couldn't have known this was going to happen. And it was that our car stopped working. The battery like stopped holding charge for some crazy reason, and so we were stuck somewhere. We were going to go out to eat, and then the car started acting weird, and we just went straight home. But I have another little car icon. I don't use these car icons in my day-to-day life because, as I've mentioned, I don't have a car, so I don't drive anywhere. I also can't drive. Shh. That's like, people freak out when they learn I can't drive. But, I mean, if you think about it, I started learning when I was 16, But given that our car breaking down today is not an unusual activity, wasn't able to practice a lot at home because there's something, like always something going on with the cars. And then I went to college, so how am I supposed to learn how to drive? I'll learn eventually, but not anytime soon, probably in a couple of years. I expect not to be able to learn how to drive until my boyfriend and I can afford to have a car, and then he will finish teaching me how to drive. I know how to drive, sort of, in theory. I just need to practice. And I took driver's ed when I was in high school, and I wasn't bad at it. I'm not a bad driver. I passed the test they gave me in driver's ed. I just need more practice. So yeah. But my parents have car insurance and AAA, so they came and they were boosted the car with the jumper cables, and then we were able to go home. And the car ran the whole time we were driving, but then once we stopped, it wouldn't start again. So the next morning is when I had to fly back to Massachusetts, which is where I live most of the time. And what happened? What was I talking about? Oh, and my aunt had to drive me to the airport. So I'm just going to write adventure, I'm going to put down that adventure sticker just because I want to, and I think it will differentiate two different things I want to mark. The first one is that I flew back home, and I don't have another airplane sticker, so I'm going to use one of these little teardrop things. And I'm just going to say Massachusetts for privacy reasons. I don't want to write where I live. And then I want to mark what I did while waiting for planes and stuff, because I had a good time. I listened to the Handmaid's Tale audiobook while drawing some new stickers. So I'm going to write the Handmaid's Tale and designing. And I've never listened to the Handmaid's Tale so long. I usually listen to it for 20 minutes at a time on bus rides. But it was actually a long time that I was able to listen to it while on the planes and during my layover. And so I actually got a badge for a marathoner from Audible, and I didn't know they had badges. So that was fun. And now I'm going to do a couple of things. I'm going to use this rain sticker because the way I got picked up from the airport was complicated. Because like I said, I don't have a car. So what we had to do was rent a zip car, which is short-term car rental thing that the school has a partnership with Zipcar for short-term car rentals. So you can rent them out for an hour at a time. And so the airport's an hour away, and so my boyfriend was able to catch his bus back from where he lives in time to pick me up at the airport in theory. So we rented a zip car, and we're going to he picked it up. And so to do that, the bus he got back into town, sorry this is coming out so weird, the bus he got back into town drops off at an inn near our college campus, which is also where the Zipcar cars are, and so he picked it up. But instead, what happened was that we decided on the Zipcar after he went home, and so when he went home, he didn't bring his Zipcar card, which is what lets him access the cars, and so he had to actually like race to the apartment and then back to the bus. I'm getting the story all mixed up. I'm so sorry. He took the bus. He had to catch a bus from the college, which is where in theory he should have just been able to pick up the car, but instead he had to take a bus back to our apartment to pick up the zip car, run back to catch the bus to go back to the school to pick up the zip car, drive the zip car to the airport to pick me up. But while that was happening, his cell phone was dying, so he was like racing against time and having to park the car to let it charge at points so that he could still get instructions to the airport. And then he was also really tired because he hadn't gotten enough sleep the night before, so it was like this crazy time for him to just get to the airport. And he got there like an hour later than we thought he would, and then I got into the car and we had to go get food because he was so tired that he needed something to like wake him up so that we would make it back, because I don't drive well. I'm not a confident driver, and so it was also a rental, so it's not insured if I were to drive it, so I couldn't drive us back. He had to drive us, so we had to do that, and we had to get back to the school, and we eventually got back. And before we got back, I called the local taxi company and said at 7:30, pick us up at this corner and take us back to our apartment. And the taxi company just didn't show up. It was 7:45 and it was raining. That's why I have the rain sticker from my shop. I took that from the sampler. It was raining and the taxi company wasn't there, didn't call us to say they would be late or like an alternate place to wait. Nothing. So we were waiting in the rain for 15 minutes. We called them twice and all they could say was they're on their way, but didn't say where they were or why it was taking them so long. And so we eventually took out the Uber app, and something crazy that happened is that there was actually an Uber, which is crazy because there isn't Uber anywhere around here. This is a very rural area, and so we almost never have an Uber. There's like maybe one local driver who's occasionally on, so Uber is not in any way reliable in this area. But we actually found an Uber driver that was 3 minutes away. 3. And he came and picked us up. And we called the taxi company and we're like, yeah, we found a ride. Don't come pick us up. And it was so ridiculous how long it took them. When we called ahead, we called 45 minutes ahead. And the guy we talked to was like, well, we usually ask you for an hour. First of all, I've called this company before. I called earlier while I was waiting at the airport to say, can I just call you and get a ride? And they were like, yeah, you just call us. So they didn't mention anything about an hour. But then he said, we usually ask that you call us an hour in advance, but it's a slow night, so I can book you. If it was such a slow night, why did it take them so long to get there? I don't know. So I went off on that very confusing tangent for a long time, and I apologize. I just thought it was so frustrating. The last thing I'm going to mark here is just that I was happy to be back home and to get to spend some time with my boyfriend again. So I'm going to use this little date night icon from my sampler. These aren't up in my shop yet, but they will be. Just to mark that like we were finally able to get in, and we watched some I think we watched an episode of The Office, or maybe we just got food and fell asleep. I really can't remember. I was so tired by the time we got in. It was crazy. I actually think we started to watch The Office, and then I started to fall asleep, so we just went to sleep. I've never seen The Office, but it's one of my boyfriend's favorite shows, and he really likes it. So he's seen it several times, and so he's going to be seeing it again with me, and that's like the show we're watching right now. So yeah, I'm going to use an orange half quarter box. Maybe I'm going to use an orange quarter box. Okay. So there's that. Whew, I really feel like I ranted for a long time, I'm sorry. But we're almost done, I think. We're on to Sunday. And so Sunday there were a few things. And I think I'm going to do like 2 in each. So I had a lot of Happy Meal to look through because I had been gone for so long that I had some meal pile up. So I'm going to mark that with this yellow flag. And this mail icon. And then I was also able to film the unboxing for the GP Studios subscription box, so I want to mark that. And I'm going to use this little TV icon even though I wasn't watching TV, with this circle thing. You know what I have a problem with? I have a problem writing these X's in cursive. If you have any tips on how to write an X in cursive and not make it look weird, write that down in the comments because I'd love to know. Next, I'm going to use this teal little thing to mark that we saw the first episode of Better Call Saul Season 4, which is a good time. I'm going to layer it over this purple half box, maybe. Yes. And yeah, it's good. So there's a character that I hate, or I hated, who is no longer in the 4th season. And yeah, I guess it's sad that he's not there, kind of. But not really, because I hated him. And if you've seen Better Call Saul, you probably know who I'm talking about. So yeah. And that was season 4, episode 1. They come out on Mondays, and so the next day we actually were able to watch the second episode right after it aired live. And then the last thing I want to mark is that I was able to do my first full traveler's notebook setup with the GP Studio kit. I'm going to use the last of these little flags here to do that. Wow, so there's that. This page looks more together than this page. I think I didn't know what I was doing on this side and like got more into it on this side, but still looks nice. I think I really like this box and that box. I think those are my two favorites. Maybe that one or that one. I like them. I think it came out nice. So now I have to figure out what to do with the sidebar. And so I have 3 lists of things I want to do. I want to make a list of things that I filmed towards the end of the week, a list of things I wanted to draw, like sticker designs, and a list of highlights for the week. So I will be using some checklists, I believe, as well as this weekly box thing. And so I'm going to use the orange checklist and to mark things to film. I'm going to bring in these glitter headers. I haven't used them anywhere else, but I don't know. Why not? Because I can't put them down straight. That's a good reason not to use them. Okay. So there's that, and then I'm going to write highlights first. So I'm going to use this week. That's next week. Do I have it this week? I don't have it this week. I only have it next week. I'm going to use this today header, even though this is like off to the side with this weekly box. And I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to put another header just to take up some space. I feel like this is a sandy color. It's a little less vibrant than the theme I'm generally going for, but not bad. It doesn't clash horribly, I think. So I'm going to write to film. I need to film and to draw. So I'm going to use this as like a header. Along with this 3-heart checklist, which I'm going to cut down. This like yellow-orange one. And yeah. And so one thing that did happen is that my silhouette just barely scratched this sheet enough that I can see where it should have cut, because there is a small bleed area that would, if I cut just from edge to edge, would make the box too big. But luckily the silhouette just scratched the top and I'm able to see where I need to be cutting. So I don't necessarily cut there all the time. Okay. There we go. And so basically what this is showing is like, this is a setup with like a few basic functional sheets, some kit leftovers, and a bit of deco. And I think that the spread is coming together fairly nicely. It's not quite finished yet, so we will see. I don't know what's happening at the top here. There we go. One thing that is weird about the Recollections is that there's this blank box. So that's a little annoying. Another header to take up space in the sidebar. Things to draw. So just going to use this little asterisk thing. And then the other half of this checklist. Okay. So we're finally coming down to the last stretch. There, and that's not quite straight, but that's okay. So that's everything I want to put in the sidebar, and I still have some space at the bottom to put something or other. And I think that something or other is probably going to be a strip of washi. I've lost the ruler that I was using to cut things. Okay. And then I'm going to add, I don't know if I want to add any more deco at the bottom or not. I think I do. I think I'm going to add these sunglasses. And so now it's time to like write stuff in. So this is to film, or I guess it's filmed this week. And so that was the GP sub unboxing. And then I also filmed a weekly plan with me. And then this is to design. And I designed a new deco sheet. And another freebie sheet. Not the one you saw. I pulled together some other things. And then lastly, the highlights. So the highlights of Monday, that was new shoes. I am glad to no longer have water getting into my shoes. Tuesday would be the advent calendar. I was excited about that. Wednesday would be the Go Wild sale. Thursday would be El Taquito. Friday would be the mall with Emma. Saturday, I think it would be going home. Sunday would be getting to set up the full traveler's notebook because that was really exciting. So this is what we have. I had some date covers that I thought I might use these, but I don't think they will match well enough, and the blue doesn't look that bad given how much blue I was able to like pull in with all the headers and this sidebar thing. And overall, I like how it looks. I'm sorry that the camera doesn't quite let in everything at once, but it's pretty close to what like it is, and I like it. So some things to note: it takes a long time. I know I was talking, that slowed me down a bit, but still, it's been an hour plus another half hour. And so I've been doing this for probably a couple of hours now. So this is not the kind of spread for the faint of heart. This is something to do if you have like a ton of time, you want to get crafty and like play around with lots of different stickers. You have a ton of extra kit leftovers that you like, I just need to get rid of these. So yeah, so other things that I said I would use, I did use these headers. I did use one of these boxes. This is what I used from these two sheets. I used a lot of the deco because I used them in my full boxes. I used all of these flags, a good half of those teardrops, some of those, these. None of these checklists, but that's because I wasn't listing anything. All of this stuff had already happened. One of those checklists, and I chose these over those because it was a sticker, so I was able to cover that weird blue box. I used a ton of the half boxes, quite a few of the quarter boxes, but as you can see, I did this full spread and I still have another week of half boxes if I wanted to, and 2 or 3 weeks of the quarter boxes. So my functional sheets, I think, do give you quite a bit to work with. Didn't use anything from here. I did use icons from these two sheets and a couple of things from here. I really like this date night sticker. I like how that came out. Didn't touch the freebie, didn't end up using the Facebook icons or need any of those checklists. I used a couple of headers from here and didn't touch this sheet. Of some of the markers I pulled in, I didn't use the yellow. I used the pink, the blue, the green, the orange, the black, and the red. I was able to use all of the washi right here. My pen, some scissors, this X-Acto knife. I brought out the whiteout, but I stopped using it, so it's definitely not necessary. And this is what we ended up with. So if you've gotten this far, thanks so much for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like what you see and want to see more. And definitely let me know if there's anything you would do differently. So like, given the same materials, what would you have done? How would you have set up the full boxes? What kind of washi would you have used for the bottom? What things might you have put in the sidebar instead? I'd love to know. And I'll see you next time. So thanks for watching, and